Voters are headed to the polls today in Nebraska and West Virginia as primary elections ramp up for this year's midterms. In West Virginia, the state lost a House seat due to redistricting, so two incumbent Republican congressmen are running against each other. Former President Trump is supporting Alex Mooney, while Governor Jim Justice and Democratic Senator Joe Manchin have backed David McKinley. Meanwhile, there is drama in the three-way race for governor in Nebraska. Trump's favored candidate, Charles Herbster, has been accused of groping several women, including a state senator. Herbster has denied the allegations. 538 senior elections analyst Nathaniel Rakich joins me live now for more on all of this. Nathaniel, thanks for being here. This is another key test for former President Trump's power over the Republican Party. So do these allegations against Herbster make it a bigger challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. It's never a good thing when a candidate faces a scandal. We found that typically candidates suffer multiple percentage point penalty for scandals of this nature. And I would expect that Herbster would probably be doing a lot better today if he hadn't been facing this scandal. At the same time, I think that Trump's endorsement is keeping him buoyed up there. I think there are two other strong candidates in the race, as you mentioned. And if Herbster didn't have Trump's endorsement, those other two candidates would be leading right now.
And so who stands to gain if these allegations cause Herbster to lose support?
Yeah, honestly, that's an open question. Ideologically, you would expect maybe Jim Pillen to gain. He's a little bit closer. You kind of have a spectrum in this race where Herbster is the kind of really pure Trumpy candidate. Jim Pillen is the more kind of establishment mainstream Republican, and Brett Lindstrom is more of a moderate. So if you're a Herbster voter who's turned off by those allegations, you might go to Pillen, who shares a lot of the same policy views, but just is a little bit more refined.
And what are you seeing in West Virginia in this race where two incumbent congressmen are running against each other?
Yeah, this is a really interesting race because they've been thrown together into the same district, as you mentioned. And Alex Mooney, who is Trump's endorsee, is another kind of, very pure, devoted follower of Trump. He voted against certifying the 2020 election, for example, whereas David McKinley is more of a bridge builder. In fact, literally so. He was one of only a few Republicans to vote in favor of the bipartisan infrastructure package. And he's generally known as someone who will reach across the aisle and is a little bit more bipartisan and willing to work with Democrats. So it'll be an interesting test case of whether Republicans are more interested in kind of collaboration and governance, or whether they kind of want to go the Trump route and be a little bit more bombastic in their rhetoric.
Now, West Virginia is just one of several states losing seats due to a decline in population. Other states are gaining seats due to an increase in population. How is that expected to impact some of these other races heading into the midterms?
Yeah, well, you have, I believe, 5 other House races where their two incumbents have been paired together, just like in West Virginia. So that's going to be another kind of important test of different wings of both the Republican and the Democratic Party. And then in other places, you've seen states gain seats. And so these tended to be redder states in the South and West, so places like Texas and Florida. And as a result, Republicans look like they're going to pick up a seat or two in those places.
So what else are you watching for as the results come in tonight?
I think one of the most interesting storylines is back in the Nebraska governor's race. We've actually seen a fair amount of party switching going on. There have been about 5,000 Democrats who unenrolled with the Democratic Party, and about the same number, in fact, actually more people have joined the Republican Party. So it looks like maybe there are some Democrats who are switching over their registration to vote in the Republican primary, given that it's so contested. And it'll be interesting to see whether that helps the moderate candidate, Brett Lindstrom. Normally, this would be kind of a drop in the bucket. There are a lot more Republicans, like true Republicans in Nebraska, than there are these party switching Democrats. But in a very close race, and the polls indicate that this race is a total toss-up, it could be the difference maker.
All right, 538 senior elections analyst Nathaniel Rakich, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.